Department for Luton South, and I went to Denbigh High School between 1983 and 1988. I had some really good teachers. I was lucky, I was quite good at school, I was a bit of a swot really. But there were some teachers who really found interests of mine, and I worked together. So a couple which probably are really relevant to what I do now as an MP is my drama teacher, Mr Taylor, particularly through the 3rd, 4th and 5th years. He was really keen on getting all kids involved in drama, in storytelling, in thinking about things, being creative, understanding the world. And we did a really great end of year piece for our class who was studying drama based around Martin Luther King. And I think that was really interesting, talking about civil rights and human rights through studying Martin Luther King through drama. And then similarly, in my 4th and 5th year, I studied government and politics, GCSE, and we had Mrs Devine, who was our teacher there. And she was great, and she very much encouraged us to think about the world, to understand structures and institutions like Parliament, like government, and I really enjoyed politics. I come from a political family, but actually studying it in that sense, alongside other children, so we all had an opportunity to think about democracy and those sorts of things, was really good. And I found photos of our school trip to Parliament in about 1987-88, and it was really fascinating looking back to a place where I now go to work. So I spent 5 years at Denbigh, 1st year to 5th year. You make your choices for your GCSEs in your 3rd year. And my year, who took GCSEs in 1988, that was the 1st year of GCSE examinations. We took 8 GCSEs, English, Maths, and I took physics for my science. I did French because I really enjoyed French. Alongside, I did government and politics and technical drawing, graphic design, I think it was called then. Coming out of Denbigh, I got my 8 GCSEs and I went to do A-levels at Sixth Form College. I did government and politics, French and economics at A-level. And then 2 years later, coming out of Sixth Form College, I went off to university at University of Leicester, and I studied French and politics. You know, now I don't use my French as much, but obviously I use my politics knowledge every day at work. After university, I obviously came back to Luton and living so near London. My first permanent job was in London. I was just doing an administrative job before I joined the civil service. And so I spent most of my career in the wider civil service, some of which is working for direct departments and others were at arm's length from government. So how did I become an MP? Well, like I said, I want to support my hometown. I want to support the people in my hometown where I've lived basically all my life. So I was a local councillor and I've been politically active because decisions are made through institutions and in government, outside of government, but through political institutions. So I thought, I got involved in being a local councillor because decisions were made about our town, but also to help people, and it's that dual role. And then basically an opportunity arose that at the next election in the Luton South area, the Labour Party would need a candidate. And so having been active in my local Labour Party, having been a local councillor, and then wanting to put my hat in the ring with our party to become the candidate, there's a sort of structured process to be selected to be the candidate. But the biggest selection is getting elected, and obviously I was very privileged to be elected as the MP for Luton South in 2019. An MP's life is very busy and very varied. For the first 3-4 days of a week, Monday to Thursday usually, you're in Parliament. You know, that big, huge castle of a building where you can be doing anything from debating really important bits of legislation to scrutinising the role of government in select committees to meeting interesting organisations about an issue that your constituents have raised with you. Voting on key bits of legislation when the bells go off. I mean, you know, so many different things happen there. And then you balance that with when you're back in the constituency, Fridays and the weekend, where you'll be doing lots more representative stuff in your community, whether that's going along to speak to school children, whether it's to visit a community group in the town, or equally been invited along to, you know, celebratory events. There are so many varied activities an MP can do, alongside the key thing of absolutely helping constituency get in touch with you with a problem that they might need help with. So there's a real mixture of work, and there's never one day that's quite the same either.